Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Gathered together some pictures here of upcoming Hot Toys 1/6 scale Avengers Endgame figures, the ones that have been announced so far anyway. Here we have Black Widow for the first time with sculpted hair rather than the previous released rooted hair versions. Really like the way this looks. I mean, there's no denying with that picture right there. She looks awesome. I love the outfit. It's got more red spliced around here and there like an actual Black Widow spider, you know, the color scheme, black and red. So this is probably my favorite outfit she's had so far, and it's probably my favorite head sculpt we've seen so far. Very tempted to try and get my hands on this, at least just to review it and give it the full treatment, because it's a character I think I could have a lot of fun with. Posability on this one looks really good. So we'll see. No guarantees, but I definitely would be interested in at least giving this the treatment on the channel, and just... it looks really good. Very impressed. Is that... I don't know if that zip is going to work. I don't think that's an actual working zip. I think that's kind of just part of the molded suit, but she certainly seems to be able to move her arms. There's a double bend there. Likeness looks really good. Love the hairstyle, and yeah, love the outfit. Definitely impressed with this one. That's why I started the video with Black Widow, because out of all of them, she's one of the ones that's most impressed me so far. So yeah, she's got her weapons that go on the back there. Yeah, the likeness, the eyes, the skin tone, all of it looks really impressive. So we've got one last image coming up of her where we can see everything she comes with, and then we'll move on to Iron Man. But yeah, like the base, not too many accessories, but everything I guess you need. Now this this Iron Man figure is very kind of finessed and streamlined and perfected, really. It's a very, to me, I mean, that is Iron Man through and through, really. I love the Mark IV, the Mark VI, the Mark III, the Mark II as well, and, well, loads of them. I like a lot of them. The Mark VII as well. There's so many good ones. This one, though, really caught my eye. I love the feature on the back with the nanotech. I guess that's to help him with maneuverability and speed when he's flying around in space, but it might come in handy for something else. Very cool looking, though. Let me just look at this for a minute. Yeah, this posability looks good. Not too many light up features scattered around on his body. I didn't like one of the previous ones where there was all these little lights tucked away everywhere on his body, and I just thought all those little batteries and stuff. There might be, though, on this one. It might still be the same thing. Can't, other than the chest and the hands and the feet and the eyes, I can't. Oh, I can see some other lights on his shoulders as well, like where his collarbone would be, and right there on his hips on the front. Yeah, so he still needs loads of batteries for all that stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't be using that. But yeah, posability looks good, very streamlined. Love the red and the kind of lighter gold tone. There's the Tony Stark head, looks a little bit like Tom Selleck, but whatever. There is the under section of the chest plate. I didn't need to see that. It doesn't look particularly detailed or very well executed, but just keep the chest plate on, you're good. He looks good, man. He looks very good. We are coming up to the end of Iron Man now, but this is definitely one of my favorite suits they've made so far. Right there, that looks perfect. Love the shoulders, the way it all just looks so streamlined. Nice base. Accessories are okay. Here is Thanos. The fully armored version, I guess you call him. Maybe he has an actual technical name, or just endgame version Thanos, who knows. But the last one they released from Infinity War was fantastic looking. And that one came with a separate arm that was already kind of molded into that kind of bent elbow, you know, clenching his fist kind of pose. I don't think this one comes with that. Maybe wrong. But it would be a very tough decision for me if I had to choose between the Infinity War version of Thanos or this one. It'd be a very tough decision. Honestly, couldn't tell you right now which one I'd go for. I haven't seen the film yet. Gonna go see Endgame tomorrow. Well, maybe tomorrow. It's the full release. I mean, it's out tonight, I think, but tomorrow's going to be the big one. You know, that's the first official big release day. So unless I go really early, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. We'll see. It's going to be busy, man. There's pictures online. I think it's in places like Hong Kong and stuff where like just people are stampeding to the cinema and trampling over each other, and it's like Black Friday kind of stuff, man. But yeah, the pictures of Thanos look really good. The Nash teeth head sculpt, really good. They perfected it with Thanos. They did a really good job. You know, I'd imagine, I've never seen him in person, I'd imagine his posability is a bit limited due to his just the nature of the bulkiness of him, but he seems to be able to pull off a fair amount of poses. The armor, the weaponry, he comes with that big ass sword we're about to see, or I don't know if you call it a sword, but whatever that is. Oh, it seems to maybe split into two halves so that it can be like a more short, kind of just like a sword, or like a double-ended one that he had earlier. So I guess that breaks apart, or maybe you get two. We'll see on the image coming up. Light up feature again on the gauntlet, so that would be pretty cool. The lights didn't look that impressive when I saw it in reviews. I got to pop up London to Forbidden Planet and see Thanos in person, the figure that is. But yeah, he looks very impressive here. Yeah, there's all the stuff he comes with. Very impressive. It would be nice to have both versions of Thanos so you could swap the heads, because I don't think you could take the helmet off this armored version, whereas the Infinity War version was helmetless, so you could swap around the heads. Here's Don Cheadle as War Machine. That likeness to Don Cheadle is pretty good. You can tell who it's supposed to be, but there's something a little bit off about it to me. But it looks good enough for an action figure, that's for sure. A very expensive action figure, but an action figure nevertheless. War Machine, bless him. Oh, he's so badass, and he's got a badass name, and I should care more, I just never do. I did own a War Machine figure from Iron Man 2, the first one Hot Toys made. That was not a die-cast one, this is a die-cast figure. However, the day they actually make Iron Man Hot Toys die-cast figures with an actual die-cast helmet, that is the day I will be very interested. And until that day, I don't like the plastic helmets. For an Iron Man figure, I just think if any part of him should be die-cast, it should be the helmet. And even though that will have technical issues with, the light up features on the eyes maybe don't work or something, I don't know, just give us a spare head as an option that's die-cast. Then you've got my interest. Until then, it's just, I'm alright. I can live without them. But he does look very cool in this one. We'll just see all the accessories he comes with. Posability looks good. Good stance there. Ready for action, but he doesn't seem to come with a hell of a lot, but certainly enough for a War Machine. I'm sure you'll be satisfied, War Machine fans. Here is Nebula, a character I couldn't stand in the first Guardians film. Too many stupid side head tilts, about 3 times in that film, just made me cringe every time. But then I recently rewatched Guardians 2 on Netflix, thank you Netflix, and actually really enjoyed Guardians 2 the more recent time I watched it, and actually quite enjoyed the scenes between Nebula and Gamora where they were, having fights and trying to settle their long running differences. And then of course events happened in Infinity War, which are going to be interesting to see how that works out. I can't remember exactly. Did Nebula, she didn't turn to dust, did she, at the end of the last one? I think she's still around. And obviously we know what happened with Gamora. But the outfit on this one is really good and it looks really well done. I like the color. The head sculpt looks perfect to the film. I mean, that looks like Nebula 100%. Her weaponry, looks fine. Posability might be a little bit restricted with this outfit, but it doesn't seem to be stopping too much from happening in these pictures. But then again, a lot of the pictures or the poses you see in these pictures are not ones that you're going to want to leave your figure in long term for fear of any damage to the suit. But this does look cool. I can't really think of anything else that she should come with. Then again, this is from Endgame, so like I say, got to see the film, see what kind of scene she has, what she gets up to in the movie, and then I'll know whether or not Hot Toys have scrimped or brought their full A game with this version of Gamora. But very impressed with it so far. I mean, it looks like Gamora 100%. There's nothing jumping out at me that doesn't look accurate. On to Hawkeye, the fool. Here he is. I don't know why I called him a fool. He's perfectly fine. But yeah, apparently his role in Endgame is going to be quite significant this time around. So I got my predictions with what's going to happen with him, and I've got my predictions for the whole kind of Act 1, 2, and 3 of Endgame, and I'm pretty sure it's going to play out the way I think it is, but I ain't going to say that just in case even that would be a spoiler. But is his outfit here, is that black and gold, or is it a very, it looks black and gold here. But at first, when I first saw these images, just sort of casually scrolling past them, like this one here, looks like it's a very, very dark green and gold. But am I thinking more of an Arrow from DC when I say that? I don't know. It's probably black and gold. It's just every now and then it looks like there's a hint of very dark green in there, but I could be wrong. But I like the look. His hairstyle is questionable, I think it's fair to say, especially if my predictions are correct in the events that play out in the film and where Hawkeye is at mentally. That might explain his haircut. But anyway, that's fine. As a figure, it looks really cool. The arrows, he's got everything he needs. He's got a little dagger there. The head and the neck are one piece, which I do like because it helps with the realism. I don't really like to see the head and the neck be a separate piece. That picture there looks very good, very cool. And now we're going to move on to Captain America. But Hawkeye looks very good. Posability looks good too. So, Captain America. God, I don't know how many versions of Captain America Hot Toys have made. It's not their fault. I mean, you know, the movies, he keeps changing his suit for some reason every single film. Yeah, gotta make that money. But yeah, it looks alright. The Chris Evans head sculpt looks very impressive as a piece of 1/6 scale art. But whether it looks 100% like Chris Evans, nah, not to me. And especially with the helmet on. Some of these mouth plates, that one there looks okay. That looks pretty good. But then again, with your face that scrunched up and aggressive, it could be anyone really. But posability looks good. The outfit looks good. Very similar to everything I've seen before. Unless you're a hardcore Captain America fan, I find it very difficult to be super excited about this. I don't know how many. Does anyone out there know how many, including all the special event versions and exclusive versions, how many Captain Americas have Hot Toys made now? I don't know. This one will probably come with a die-cast shield rather than a plastic one. At least I hope that's the case. Not that it's going to affect me much. I'd love to get my hands on and review it, but I don't want to own any of these. Just don't have the space for them. I've got to, you know, stick with my DC side of things and my horror film figures and my sci-fi 80s film stuff. Alien, Predator, RoboCop, Terminator, and my DC characters, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Chucky. That's where I'm at as a collector right now. I do love the Marvel movies, but just don't have the space or the money for them, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, there's my thoughts on them. They're all very impressive. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow figure is the one that's really caught my eye and actually prompted me to do this video in the first place. And they all look good though. Thanos, man, Iron Man looked amazing. They all look good. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Light it up in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you soon. Bye bye.